I think it's twofold. When we were, you know, little, it was so taboo to even mention our mother was sick. We all knew she was sick. But she's had a lifetime of not getting any help for anything. Mm-hmm. And now that she's in her 60s and she's getting help for something, you know, there's this chasm between us. And how do you bridge that? How do you overcome that distance, you know? I don't know how to do it.
It's hard when you have had no one to model after to even build a foundation of anything. Mm-hmm. And I think what's hard is I don't feel like my mother deserves the title of mother, because I feel like motherhood is a very sacred responsibility to rear, uplift, comfort, nurture, teach, guide your children, and to love them unconditionally.
Yes, it's the hardest job on earth when it's done well.
Exactly.
Exactly when it's done well. How old are your children?
I have a 22-year-old son and a 19-year-old daughter. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because my son is the same age as Elizabeth. And I would say 2 weeks or so before the kidnapping, they showed up at my home to, I believe, and tried to enlist me as another wife. Mm. And that was an interesting experience, and I asked them to leave because as a child, you don't have any control over your environment. But as an adult, I have control. And I thought, I'm not going to let them come into my house and dictate and control me.
Wow. So tell me this, when you said, I think they were coming, this is a couple of weeks before the kidnapping, you said they were, what happened? What actually happened or was said that makes you feel that way?
Well, they sat down and started talking about their gospel and how he was sent as a messenger and how they really wanted me to take part in it. Mm-hmm. And I finally says, you know what, I just really need you to leave. Mm. And so they got up and she says, well, can I give you a hug? And I said, no, you can have a nice life. And that was the last time I'd seen.
I can't let this go. You mentioned that you all were praying and you would have to pray for 2 hours, and then he placed the nude pictures on the bed. Was there ever abuse from him?
Not from him.
Or attempted abuse?
There was innuendos, there was long hugs, he'd shrug up against me. Very uncomfortable. I didn't like him to, I felt like if I wore a turtleneck around him that he was undressing me with his eyes. Mm-hmm. It was weird and twisted, but my mom, she liked to torment too. So he'd give her a little bit of power and a little bit of rain to see what she'd do with it. It trickled.
Were you ever abused by him?
Not by him, no.
Mm-hmm. She would have kicked his butt.
She would have kicked his butt. Would have kicked his butt. We'll be right back. We'll be right back. Coming up, what do you think when you see Elizabeth Smart? Next. All new. She won American Idol and took Broadway by storm. Now, Fantasia faces the music. What was going on with you? 60 missed performances.
What everybody didn't know is,
why didn't you tell me? Was the house foreclosed? What happened to all the money? And hear that powerhouse voice. Then, once over 700 pounds, reality star Ruby faces plastic surgery and a family secret buried for over 20 years. Tomorrow.
hush, little baby, don't say a word. Mama's gonna buy you a mocking.
A song by Paul Beckman, Palu Rainbow Song, created February 2nd, 2010, using the guitar chords F7 and G. This song is going to be called Do You Feel Safer Your Parents Are in Jail? Oh, do you feel safer that your parents are in jail? Do you feel safer that your parents are in jail? If your parents were abusive, and if they kidnapped other children, do you feel better if your parents are in jail? If your parents are in jail?